Hello everyone! So today we are playing with the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill, The Vault. This recently came in the mail and I'm super excited to get into the eyeshadows, to play with them, do a look with it, share my thoughts, my opinions, my first impressions, if you will, on this product. This is very popular. This is of no surprise to you. I'm sure you've seen the colors. I'm sure you've seen swatches and videos galore. But I wanted to put my 2 cents out there as well for those of you who are interested in knowing what my thoughts are on this. So of course you have probably seen all of the colors. I like the fact that it's set up the way it is. It's really cute. I like the white and silver with the little specks of color that coordinate with the palettes. I think that's a really cute little extra added bonus for the packaging. And you guys know that I'm a fan of her original palette. Mine is one of the original ones from the first launch of it. And it's so dirty and disgusting on the back. I'm not even gonna, let's not even go there. So this vault has 4 palettes. You can get them together, which is what I did. I ordered the whole set off of Morphe's website. Or you can get them individually on their website as well, or individually through purchasing through Ulta.com or Ulta in stores. I don't think Ulta at all has the whole setup together. You save money by buying them all 4 together. It's $49 versus $15 a piece, so it would be $60 if you wanted to get all 4. But what I do like about it is that they are available individually. So if, let's say, you want the warm one, or you want the Bling Boss, or whichever one you like that you know you're going to use the most of, and the other ones you may not use as much or may not even use ever, then you can just buy the one you want. So I think it's really cool how they've done that. The Bling Boss, which is the one that I wanted to use when I saw it, I was like, I've got to use this. This is the one with the purples. I have not done a look with purples in a really long time, so I think that's what I'm going to do for today's look. But just kind of giving you my thoughts on the colors. I do think that the colors are beautiful. I think each sort of color scheme within each palette is really well selected, and I feel like you can get quite a bit of looks done with this. This one has, the Bling Boss has 4 matte shades, so the majority of them are going to be more kind of on the shimmery side. I also like how they're thin, the style of the packaging. You can easily travel with this if you have a small makeup bag. Okay, so we're moving on with swatches. We've got Pizzazz, which is a metallic cranberry. Those purples really do sting. Really pretty pizzazz, the color. Then you have Mystic, which looks like that. And just kind of swatching them on my hand. That's what they look like here. I did have to kind of go over the Mystic one, which is the matte kind of plum, twice, so that you can see it as it's shown on my hand here. So that one needs a little bit of layering. I don't know how they're going to perform on the eyes. I would hope that they're going to work the same way as the original. This is Sparks, which is a really kind of pretty brick red shade. Glitz and Glam is more of a kind of rose gold, kind of bronzy shade. And those are those 2 there. If you could see my rabbit, she is literally bolting in circles. She's full of life, let me tell you. Then there's Rockstar and Ballsy, which are really pretty. I like this shade. This is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of golden, but kind of purpley at the same time. It's very unique. It's really pretty. It's got the shift to it. And then Berry Treasure, which is quite dark, but when you look at it, it's kind of sparkly, but on my finger, you can see that purple sparkle and that really deep, dark base to it. So very pretty. Whoa. It almost looks black, and like the sparkle has a bit of like a gold tinge to it, but then it looks purple. Very, very different and unique. I like that a lot. Here's the Rockstar, and I'm just taking what's on my finger and swiping it here. And then there's that one that has some gold and kind of like a, not really, I wouldn't say like a true duochrome type of color, but it has some gold and some kind of bronze and kind of purple. So it's got a few different things, and look at my napkin, it's a mess. So I'm really excited about this. I really don't know the direction that I'm going to go with these colors. I do know that it's going to be purple, and in the end, I'm sure it'll come together. So let's get started with the look. All right, so I've zoomed in the camera. I always forget to do this, and I'm going to try to get really good at remembering, or get better at checking the lens before I hit record on my computer. So anyways, moving on to the eyes, I have done some primer, and then I took the Maneater palette, took Passion, which looks like this, which is matte. It's like a light cream color, and I went all over the lids, all the way up to the brow bone with the Morphe E30 brush to set that primer so that no eyeshadow catches at all, because I want to see how this works with a very smooth base that doesn't have any sort of tackiness, no natural oils or anything, to see if they blend as good as the original Jaclyn Hill palette. With the Morphe R37, I use a lot of Morphe brushes just because that's what I like. Just in case you're wondering, I'm going to start with the color called Hush Hush, which is that kind of taupe shade, the plummy, taupey shade. And I would say this is the only color that I would use as a transition to begin with, because the other three colors that are mattes are really dark. So you got Mystic, Rockstar, and Sparks. They're all very dark. So I'm going to start with the brush here, which is where the most color is going to go. And I'm going to start going back and forth. I'm letting the brush do the work for me. I'm just placing it. Whoa. So that's really pigmented. And just kind of work this back and forth and just kind of build it up. And just to show you, there is a tiny bit of powder kick up. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully it's picking up on my camera. A little bit of pick up there, or like kick up of powder. So not too bad, but that's only just one shade in, so we'll see. And when you tap off the brush, it does kind of get everywhere. But as I've mentioned before, that is not, to me, a factor whether or not I use something or purchase it. It's how it performs on the eyes, what matters most to me. Okay, so I've got that color. I'm not really trying to do a cat eye lift, but I do like that look sometimes. And I should do it more often because it just naturally gives a subtle kind of lift to the eye. Take that same Hush color, and I'm going to go down into this lower lash line. I'm going to put most of it here, make sure it connects, and then kind of bring it down. And if there's like a little line, I see a line that's going to bug me. Maybe you can see it there. I'm going to go back in with that same R37 and buff that away. Now I'm going to switch to the Morphe M506 brush that looks like this. This is perfect for working on the outer V. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, something is telling me to do Rockstar, which is more of a distinctive purple than this one that's more of like a dark plum. This is Mystic. This will be much darker, but I'm going to start with this and see where that takes me. It's pretty. It's definitely purple. And then I'm going to start kind of blending that into the Hush Hush color. I feel like I came up a little higher than I wanted to, so now I have to just kind of work at it and blend it and try to soften out those edges. But it's still a really pretty color. And like I said, even after blending, you can still see the color just as it is in the pan. It does translate to the actual lid, so I do like that. And I'm going to go back in with that R37, is that, yeah, R37 with that Hush Hush color. And go around the very edges, not touching too much of that Rockstar because I don't want that to fade too much, but kind of going around it to make sure it's blended. And so I'm going to just keep working at this and then of course do the other eye to match. Alright, so I have been working and blending this shade out. Now I will say that personally for me, I'm having just a little bit of difficulties with this, and it could just be my base, it could be just my lids, it could maybe be the shadow, I don't know. But there's a little bit of skipping here, but that's fine because I'm going to cover that. And I'm trying to get them to match. It is a very potent type of formula. It is very dark and still has sort of like, I don't want to say like a grape kind of purple, but kind of in a way, and I like it. I think it's pretty. But it's just kind of working with it and doing a little bit at a time and kind of building that up, because if you start with too much, it can be hard to take away. So it's workable. It's not as, to me, in my own experience, as blendable and easy to work with as Hush Hush, which is the one that I did as transition-y type of shade. But I still like it, and I still will kind of tweak it maybe as I go. But we're going to move on, and we'll fix it. We'll work on it. I'm going to take an angled liner brush with that same Rockstar color that I used in the outer V, and I'm going to add this to my lower lash line. And putting most of the color on the outer part and then kind of tapering it in as I move towards the center and inner corner of the lower lash line. I'm going to take the Morphe E36, which is super tiny. It's kind of like a detail brush, but a little bit wider. And I'm going to just kind of work that back and forth to blend out those edges. Now, I want to kind of deepen things up just a little bit on the lower lash line, so I'm going to go in with Mystic. If you want something a little sparkly, you can go in with Berry Treasure, which looks, as you can see, kind of looks purpley, but then when I look at it like this, it looks kind of gold and like a dark color. It's really, really cool. So I'm going to take Mystic, tapping off the excess, and I'm going to go right on the outer part of the eye, just to add a little bit of depth with that same angled brush. I'm going to start with Ballsy because that's the one that has that kind of golden, kind of rosy, purpley, lilac-y kind of tone. It's got all of those. And I'm using a Sonia Kashuk brush, which is really small and perfect for my eye shape. Tapping off the excess. This is dry. We're not going to do it wet unless we think it needs it, but we're going to start with it dry. And I'm going to go right here and just sort of pat. Now I can already tell you that it works probably better if you foil it by dampening the brush after you load it up or using a finger, because using the tapping method you get color and you get a lot of color, but if you really want to elevate it, then you may need to use it kind of damp. Oh, that's pretty. And that contrast between that color and the purple, yummy. That's the first word that came to mind, yummy. Probably not the best word to use to describe eyeshadows, but okay. Whatever. What I'm going to do is just because, I mean, Evian is right there, so I might as well load up my brush and spray it. Maybe a little too much. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly press this. I'm going to start in the center of the lid, pressing, and then working it out. Alright, so I found a small detail brush, and I think I'm going to try taking that same color and bringing it down to the lower lash line. Looks really pretty, very vibrant. And for liner, I think I'm going to use Mystic. So I'm going to go back in with my angled brush. And this is the Mikasa E100 brush that I'm using. And so Mystic is that really dark color. I'll show it to you. Looks like this here. And I'm going to do that as my liner. And if you're going to do false eyelashes that have some sort of thicker band, then you can skip this whole step entirely because you're not going to even notice it too much. But because I don't normally do a lot of false eyelashes, I like to have a little bit of darkness around the lash line before adding my mascara. I think it does make a difference. And I think I'm going to try to see if I can find, let's see, is there a black? So this is the black in the Dark Magic palette. It's called Temptress. Yes, Temptress. I'm going to hold it upside down. And when you look at it, it looks like it's matte, but when you swatch it, there's the softest, most subtle kind of, okay, that little tiny bit gave me that much. Holy moly. And so I'm going to just kind of press this here. If you have the original Jaclyn Hill palette, you can use the black that's in that one as well. Any black would work. Just kind of lightly define those lashes. Like I said, I would have used liquid liner, but I thought I had one, and I don't. And now, all I think I have left to do to complete this look for today is some mascara. So I'm going to go with the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. Now, for blush, I'm digging in through my little makeup stash here. I think I'm going to go in with just a natural color, just something very soft. So I'm going to do the Physicians Formula Mineral Wear Talc Free Blush in the shade called Natural. And this just gives me a very like natural flush. If I were going outside and I maybe ran for a little while, that natural kind of rosy flush is what I think might be the best option for a look like this. So I'm going to use the Delium Tools 941 brush, which is my favorite for this step, and I just take a little bit of that and swirl it on the apples of the cheek, and just to kind of add a little bit of color back into my skin after applying foundation. Things look can't even talk, look a little flat. So this adds a little bit extra color to my skin. And then I like to take my beauty blender and just kind of, or beauty sponge, it's not a beauty blender, and just kind of blend and melt everything right in. It's still slightly damp from earlier today. All right, so for highlight, I've got a couple things. I've been using the Diamond Highlighter from Too Faced. This is a really good one. But I kind of want to do something a little bit kind of champagne-y, kind of icy looking, and that has a bit of a kind of shift to it where it's has multi-dimensional look to it, the diamond one from Too Faced. So I've got my Becca Champagne Pop that I've had for a few years, and I haven't used it in quite some time, and also my Glow Kit from Anastasia and Gleam, and I always go for the Crushed Pearl. So this kind of color here, you can find a lot of shades that look like this in many different brands, even if this is no longer available. And I'm going to go right on the tops of the cheekbone, and just kind of like a C shape around the eyes and up into the temple area. And I'm trying to be very light-handed. The other day I put this on and I swear it's almost like I had a light kind of beaming from my face. A little bit down the nose, tip of the nose, and Cupid's bow. I think I'm going to go with the Champagne Pop because, you know, we are using Jaclyn Hill products, so why not use as many things that she's created as possible, right? So I'm going to go in with a little bit of Champagne Pop, just like that, because this is, as you can tell, I've had this for years when they first came out, and I haven't even made any dents or hit pan on it, and I'm going to go right over the tops of the cheekbone with that. And whatever's left kind of come around the temples. So super, super glowy. And why not go on the nose? Why not? So that is the face. Now we do need to do some lip action. I think I'm going to go in for a nude. Okay, so I wiped off everything. That gloss was giving me kind of like a white line. That lip balm. So I went downstairs into my purse and I picked out my go-tos that I have in there. I've been using the Perfect Nude Gloss from the Sephora brand with the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. This is like the best combo of life. If this is all I had, I'd be happy. And honestly, just like this, filling in and lining the lips with the Pillow Talk is perfect. I've done that so many times to kind of have a matte lip without having too much product on. Now, I am going to be using the Jeffree Star Celebrity Skin because this is just a beautiful shade and I love it. But I'm going to do just a tiny bit of that, and then I'm going to put some gloss over the top. Just because I'm kind of feeling a bit of a kind of glossy lip. Just a little bit. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, so once that dries down just a little bit, I'm going to hit it with some gloss. This is a nude gloss. They're all kind of sort of similar in color family here. If I could get Celebrity Skin in a gloss form from Jeffree Star, if they ever decide to make some, I should say if he decides to make it, that would be amazing. Alright guys, so that completes today's tutorial. I hope that you guys enjoyed the look. I actually really like it, and I feel inspired by these colors to actually wear more colorful looks instead of just sticking to the neutrals and the light tans and the safe colors. Although I like those because they're easy and I can just do them with a few minutes and be out the door and have a full eye look. But when you're doing colors like this, for me, it takes me a little bit more time. So maybe with more practice, diving into the other ones in the collection might kind of help speed that process along so I can use more colors during the week. But I do enjoy these palettes. I do think that they're really pretty the way they're displayed. Just the fact that you can purchase one if you only want one, or you can buy all four. I went all in because you guys know I love makeup, and it's just one of those things where it just makes me happy. So I thought, I'm going all in. I'm going to be buying all of these colors, and I'm really trying to push myself to use more colorful shades. So today's look was with the Bling Boss, which is the purple one, and I like the way this look came out. I can see myself wearing this look again. The other ones that are more warm tones, more kind of yellowy greens, and the bluish kind of green dark ones, the Dark Magic, those are the other three that I will be playing with. And I think that the color, like I said before in the beginning, I think that the range of colors in each palette, I think they all make sense, and they're all very doable, where you can make a lot of looks with this one palette and not really feel like much is missing for a completed look. And the same thing with like these warmer ones. This is going to be definitely a challenge for me to see if I can incorporate these shades and do something very different and out of my comfort zone, if you will. And then of course this one here, the Ring the Alarm, is totally up my alley. So this is probably maybe one of the last ones that I try, just because I'm going to really push myself to use the other ones first and really try. So I'll keep you guys posted on what I come up with. Maybe you'll see another look using some of these other colors. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. I hope you subscribe. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you are a subscriber, thank you so much for being a subscriber of mine and being part of my YouTube family. And have a great day. Don't forget to follow me on social media. It's here on the screen. And I'll talk to you all very soon. Bye-bye.